Welcome to the launch of the Pre.Shift. I am your host. My name is Karla Mina, and as you know, you see me and you heard me on Market Overdrive. And today it is so exciting because, Joel looks a little different. How are you, Joel?
I'm doing well, Karla. You know my name's not Joel. My name's Gregg Horan.
Hi, Mr. Horan. How are you?
Nice
Great.
to see you. You look beautiful, as
Oh,
usual.
wow. Thank you. I appreciate you. I thought I'd go, a little blue, so a little happy. And you're wearing white.
Blue star, white.
Is that like the uniform?
Well, yeah, it doesn't hide the dirt, so I know when I have to change.
Dan's almost as tan
He's
as you, Karla.
official. He's
Dan
official.
is almost as tan as you today,
I
too.
love your tan. Where did you get that tan?
Thank you. Cozumel.
Oh, wow.
It's an island.
You and
near
Gregg, I heard you guys
Mexico.
are on vacation, and how was that?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Greg's heading
your
on
tan,
vacation.
Gregg?
I didn't
I'm
invite
going on
him.
vacation Monday. I'm taking my kids to Riviera Maya for spring break for a few days.
Wow, look at that. You
Dan
guys.
and I were not together. We were
together.
not wearing banana
We're
hammocks.
not
We were not
together.
frolicking on the beach. We were not together.
No.
Well, this is the Pre.Shift, and in case you're wondering how Gregg and Dan get any work accomplished because they're always on vacation, we're here to tell you how they actually do it. This is our real estate / restaurateur / everything you need to know about all the goodness that is at Gibsons Italia with the Gibsons restaurant group. So, Gregg, can you please explain to our audience what is the Pre.Shift?
Absolutely. So every day in our restaurants, before the lunch shift and before the dinner shift, we get together, we eat a little meal together, and we talk for about 15 minutes a day, just about what's going to happen during the shift, any menu changes. It's an informational and a motivational kind of thing, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to inform and motivate.
Chef, he said there's food.
Yeah, there is food, and he really downplayed the food segment of the Pre.Shift where the chefs come out and
you take
explain what's
over.
happening, but that's typical. So
Right.
we'll
It's
just go
all
with
about
it.
operations, or is
Yeah.
it all about, the chef and the food and the menu?
I think it's 50-50. It's about the customer, though, ultimately. So we're there to educate, inform the staff so they can inform our customer.
And about the customer is what it is, right? Because this is a company with a heart. So today's segment is all about Gibsons Restaurant Group and how giving this organization or company is. You guys have done amazing things for Misericordia, for St. Jude. We have some wonderful people here today that is going to enlighten you about the behind the scenes as to how you get these events accomplished. So, Gregg, you want to go ahead and introduce our guest?
Yeah, first of all, we've got my longtime friend and partner, Johnny Colletti, Gibsons Restaurant
Afternoon,
Group.
everybody.
And we also have Lois from Misericordia.
Lois.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Great to be
Great to be here. It's a
It is a
pleasure.
pleasure to
It
meet
is
you.
a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you, and we have a long-standing relationship with Misericordia. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the organization, Lois?
Misericordia Home is a great place. It's home for over 600 children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And it's a beautiful community. It's a continuum of care. And the people that involve themselves with Misericordia go away feeling blessed. Sister Rosemary Conley is our executive director and just celebrated her 50th year at Misericordia. She's our visionary, and she gets the job done. She's got a team of people that help
She's
her.
nonstop.
She is nonstop. And people like Gibsons, Steve and Peggy Lombardo and John Colletti are just absolutely wonderful friends that help us do what we need to do with raising money. And that's why
this time of the year, we're prepping ourselves for March 14th for the annual St. Patrick's Day Parade Day fundraiser for Misericordia, which this year will be held at the
At that Memorial Hall, 22 South Martin Luther King Drive, correct?
which is local 134 of the Electrical Workers Union. They donate the space, and we bring everything else in. We probably will have about 1,000 people plus that day. We have a group of raffles. The raffles I'm in charge of, I bring in donations from all over. We're very fortunate to have a lot of our businesses in the city that help us out. ABT Electronics, for one. Some of our bakeries, Alpha Baking Company.
Vienna Beef is
Vienna Beef
contributing,
Company.
sure, yeah.
A lot of
Vienna
it.
Beef,
A lot of
Purely Meats?
Purely
Will
Meats
be
also.
contributing as well?
Sure,
John,
yeah.
John, you've been with Gibsons for how long?
Going on 29 years.
29 years.
So-
And how long have you been involved with the party with Misericordia?
Probably, we figure we're trying to think right now, it's probably over 20 years, probably
For
20,
sure.
25 minimum.
No, it started on Rush Street, right? Is that
It started at the Rush Street location in between Gibsons and Hugo's. And it started small, and it's just grown so it's a place you want to be on Parade Day in Chicago on St. Patrick's Parade Day. It is a great thing. And
Great time, great cause.
Great cause, and it's such a great charity. It's our biggest charity that we have, and we're fortunate that we can give back. Let's put it that way.
I love that you do that because for a company, you guys are all busy, right? You're always taking care of clients or guests at your restaurants, and there's a lot that goes. I mean, how many restaurants are we talking about?
We have 14 in our company right now.
14 restaurants with the Gibsons Restaurant Group. And so how do you find time, and why is it important for you as an organization?
You make time. It's an important thing. We've been very fortunate in our company. We have first of all, a great staff that we work with. And it's so nice to give back. And
well, in the Lombardo family, it's an emphasis for them, and
Yes.
and it's part of our DNA is family, and it's a very important part of the family is helping out and helping others. It's always been a focus.
Brought up a good point about the DNA of our company. That it's very, very important for us. It's part of our business.
And from the outside looking in as a guest, I've noticed that this is not just about organized non-for-profit organizations, right? Not like for St. Jude or Misericordia, that it's an organized non-for-profit. You also look out for your own employees. It is my understanding that you had a fundraiser for one of your employees.
Yes, yeah, we did have a really nice event at Shy Sox Bar and Grill, which we run for the White Sox for Kaylin. We were trying to get a prosthetic hand for Kaylin, so it was called Lending Kaylin a Hand. She's got a great sense of humor about it. I think we raised almost $100,000 for her.
It's really, really.
This
phenomenal.
is amazing. So, of course, we were talking to John Colletti, right? He knows a lot of people, and so does Gregg. So to have the kind of access to food vendors, liquor vendors, anyone who's able to donate, it may sound to you like, I can't do that as myself, as a human being. Maybe I'm a realtor, maybe I'm a loan officer, what have you. I don't have those resources. But if you come to these events, you'll be able to contribute as well and be able to support this mission and these causes, because on March 14th, you have 2 events that are going on. Specifically at Gibsons Italia, we're going to have from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, benefiting the children of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And so I got T-shirts from the St. Jude family. If you go ahead and say something on our Facebook Live that you are buying a ticket, we'll send you the link, and you get this shirt that says, "This shirt saves lives." And literally, that's what it does, because 100% of the proceeds go to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. St. Jude is an organization that literally charges families $0 for the treatment of cancer. I mean, when you have a child that it has leukemia, for example, and they need blood transfusion, or they need a place to stay, and their siblings are here and mom is there, do you know that 100% of their treatment is covered? Do you know that the families get to live there on campus for free? They get room and board because of the donations of companies like Gibsons Restaurant
What an
Group.
amazing benefit that is for the families in their time of ultimate need. And you're right when you say that everybody can contribute something. Your time, or a dollar. Every dollar means something.
And tickets are $75 for the event on March 14th at Gibsons Italia. Can you tell us a little bit more about the pricing in your event?
60?
For Misericordia.
So
It is $60.
50 in advance.
50 in
Correct.
advance, so you got to get your tickets now. But again, the reason we all care, so I'm a mom, right? I have 2 kids. And Gregg, your daughter also has a disability. And so you
Correct.
pretty much lived in a hospital at some point with your own child.
My ex-wife did, for sure. She spent a lot of time at Mayo, and we spent a lot of time there as a family as well. So it's that's a great institution as well. St. Jude is amazing with what they do with cancer patients as well.
And I can imagine Misericordia, right? Like, you're literally providing families and children with an opportunity to be able to just participate, right?
Absolutely, Karla. We provide such quality of life, and it's family.
Your
we all come
bakery,
together.
your restaurant at Misericordia.
We have a restaurant too. It's called the Greenhouse Inn at 6300 North Ridge. A beautiful real estate. We're on 31-acre campus.
Oh, wow.
And we have 13 community homes.
And John, doesn't
out in the
Sue help out
community.
there once in a while?
She does.
Yeah, Lois knows all about that.
I have to brag about Susan. She's wonderful. She's been with us for
And
over
Susan
15
is John's
years.
wife, by the way.
Susan Colletti.
Yes.
She's the boss.
She's the boss.
I tell you.
I thought you were the boss.
Yeah, well,
You were the
we'll talk. We'll talk. But Susie cooks for a group of one of the homes, on the satellite homes on Monday nights, and she's been doing it for many, many years. And it's just a nice little thing.
And they love her. And
Oh
when
my
she
God.
isn't there,
My God. They question it.
yes.
They really
Yes.
question it.
That is wonderful. So you're making a difference. I mean, Gibson's Restaurant Group is literally a landmark, right? I mean, your locations are in some of the most phenomenal locations here on Rush Street, and you're talking about Canal, which is River North, and then Oak Brook. So you basically own some of like the Chicago most iconic, touristic per se, but very busy locations.
Well, some of those locations weren't like they are
Tell us
today.
more about that, John.
In 1989, when Steve Lombardo and Hugo Rowley opened up Gibson's, they mortgaged everything they had. Their first 3 years were very, very difficult because Rush Street was not what it is right now. There was vacancies.
It was very much a red light district. There was strip
exactly.
clubs. There was adult bookstores and stuff like that. Just it just wasn't a great place to do business in the late 80s.
Cool hangout, huh, Dan?
I was saying, I'm like, what happened to the adult
What's wrong?
bookstores?
What's
How's
wrong
that
with that?
changed? I don't know.
There's only one
What's wrong
adult
with adult
bookstore now.
That's
So,
right.
but they had faith in the neighborhood. Really,
Yeah.
they knew those beautiful houses were all around there. The real estate was fantastic. They knew it was going to come back around, but by the skin of their teeth, they made
True.
it. But first couple of years, they really almost lost everything they had.
But you need to have that kind of faith in your way you operate and the faith in the concept to be successful. And they Hugo and Steve had a tough time those first 3 years. Then I showed
loyal
up and everything
customers.
blossomed.
One of the things that I can hear, right, that it's very like that just transcends all kinds of industries. I mean, if you look at the Disney family, like businesses, right?
Yes.
A child loses his ice cream cone and they come in and give you another one, and the characters never go out of characters. You never see, Minnie Mouse without
True.
her head per se. So it's always about the customer.
It's funny that you mentioned Disney as well. I mean, we have a partnership with Disney. We have a restaurant called the Boathouse in Disney Springs.
I mean, come on, what do you guys don't have? You're at the White Sox.
Well, yeah, I mean, but these partners are aligned in a customer philosophical sense with us very closely. The White Sox, Jerry Reinsdorf is a great owner, great family owner. And obviously Disney, you mentioned, does a great job. And Ralph Lauren is our other partner who's really very much aligned from a customer service perspective with us.
So philanthropic as well, and that's key, right? So
Very true.
what I keep hearing is about the success that you built and why you're such a landmark business is because of customer service, and then service to your own employees, and just supporting everyone at large. And I
And
love
our employees
the
give
mission.
back too,
That's
Karla.
very
I mean, we John, we do the Catholic Charities breakfast that we do,
Yeah,
breakfast
we
and
have
lunch we do.
we
It
serve
started
about-
out we were always closed on January 1st, so we started with an idea just to feed the homeless on that day.
Now we do about 500. We do it on Super Bowl Sunday.
Right.
But it's something that you see at this luncheon or breakfast for Catholic Charities. You see the seniors, you see the veterans, you see the orphans.
And all of our employees donate their time.
Yeah,
they
it's
come in,
fun
the
and
waiters,
fulfilling.
busboys, all the chefs, and that's another big.
But that's a lovely experience, right?
It's a lot of fun.
Right. I mean, to be able to come to your restaurants and eat for free and then just be served. Let me share a story of when, Gregg and I met for the first time. I became an ambassador for St. Jude, and I was asked to, basically just talk to anyone who would listen about this mission and about this organization. And I knew nothing about fundraising, zero knowledge. I didn't know how to put an event together, anything. And I met with Gregg, and he's like, what do you want to do? We can do literally anything you want. And I mean, that's a testament to the organization and the power behind not just what you do for your restaurant and your people, but what you're doing for us. And we were able to put together that event and raise $15,000. The second year was $25,000. And I can honestly say that Gregg has literally led this whole vision per se, because I knew nothing about restaurant. And in fact, you guys don't open on Sunday, and we had brunch for a cause. That was, you opened your restaurant on a Sunday, you had staff there who volunteered their time, and again, 100% of the proceeds went to this non-for-profit. How do you find the time?
But we have to, like John said, we have to make time, and we had time. We had vacancy. We have great ownership who appreciate these kind of efforts, and one of our core pieces of DNA is family. And the Lombardo family is very supportive of all of our causes and have been behind us 1,000%. So we have to thank them and all of our staff, and we're going to keep doing what we can do.
And John, you're a partner at Gibson's Restaurant Group.
Yes.
What can you say as the last farewell words about your company and why you're still there, you're still working, you're still giving back.
Our company is
Don't forget how great Gregg Horan is.
Gregg is, well, because of Gregg.
No, I thought you were
place
the
is
secret
operating.
ingredient to all the success.
Well, Gregg is here, so I can't say it in front of him.
I thought it was Dan.
But Danny too. Danny's another one. But we're very fortunate.
Punch
We
the
have a
clock.
great group of partners. We all have our jobs. We do argue once in a while, but it's business.
That's family.
That's family.
That's family. Lois, you said it, Lois. Exactly.
All
and
for
we're
the greater
fortunate to
good.
have the.
And when these guys are on vacation, you have to take over,
No,
right?
I don't. Trust me.
You're running things.
past
You're the
that.
He
boss.
comes with us.
I told you,
Yeah,
he's
I
the
come
queen.
with-
He's like the Queen of England now.
Yeah.
He gets in a car and waves like this. That's, you know,
So that's why Gregg has to take
and it's,
over.
and it's well deserved.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to be on the boards of our Restaurant Association, the Convention Bureau, the Michigan Avenue Association, et cetera. So I'm happy doing all that.
Good stuff. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Thank
a
you,
pleasure
Karla.
to share
Great-
the studio with you.
Thank you. No, wonderful.
Thank you, Lois, for coming. We
Yes.
really appreciate it.
Misericordia.
Thank you, Gregg.
March
Thank you.
14th,
We're gonna
27,
sell both
22
these
South,
events out.
King Drive, 1 o'clock to
What is
5.
the address again? Give me the address.
2722 South Martin Luther King Drive, just south of McCormick Place at the local 134 of the Electrical Union's event space. It's gorgeous.
Beautiful
Tons
space.
of parking and a great time. Music. And here, I'm the only Sicilian at an Irish party. Okay?
Excuse me.
Okay, I know. Lois,
Wait a-
there's
I'm
two
the
of
only
us.
Honduran.
Wait a second.
There's two of us.
Wait a second.
Greg.
Yes.
We got a couple Sicilians.
We're gonna
So
paint.
we,
We're gonna
we
paint
wanna
Karla.
thank-
We're gonna paint Karla green this year, I
Oh,
think.
yikes. I don't know. I'll do it. Yes. For a good cause, right? For a good cause.
So we sincerely want to thank the IBEW for hosting the event
Yes,
at Memorial
yes,
Hall.
yes.
They
It's a big deal.
they donate that, and also, of course, to our wonderful friends, the Gibson Group. Thank you.
Thank you so
Greg.
much,
Pleasure.
guys. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate your
Thank
time.
you.
Thanks for coming.
God
She-
bless. Thank you.
Lois is the sweetest.
She's very nice.
You know, she did say that I look way better in person than I do in my photos.
It's,
So, Ahmad, it is your fault that I look terrible in those
yes,
photos.
Ahmad.
We
Can't
need
you
to.
make her? Can't you make her more photogenic? What's
you
wrong
make
with you,
me taller, too?
Ahmad?
Hi, Karla. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Lois. It's great stuff. I mean, are you excited about these events? Are you cooking?
I am, yeah. Our teams are ready. We're cooking. We've got great partnerships, like with this cat that just walked in the door. His name's Joe Musilami. Joe Musilami from Purely Meat Company. He and his wife, longtime partners of Gibson's Restaurant Group, purveyors of fine meats and other things, and just a great friend. So
Chef Dan, can you tell us a little bit more about the menu for March 14th?
March 14th, what do we have? We're doing some Irish bangers. We've got corned beef, of course, kicking, and a bunch of other things happening. I mean, there's going to be so much food there. You're definitely not going to walk out of the place hungry.
Yeah, we've got some
and-
great cocktail specials as well. Our sponsors, Tito's and Jameson's, and the great guys over at Haymarket Beers will be there as well. So we'll have some great cocktails for you as well.
Yeah.
So I hear we're going to get a mixologist here later on in the show, so we get to see that.
A little bit later, we'll
I'm
have
excited.
Dan DeOliveira, but we can just call him DDO
DDO.
because
DDO.
nobody can pronounce his name.
Yeah, and I know I
Oh.
would probably be terrible at it. And then we also have the beer.
Yeah, the
Yes,
Haymarket
we've
guys.
got Mike and Pete from Haymarket Brewing.
I hope they
Yeah.
have their marketing department over there drafting one for me because
Yeah.
I want my
Yeah.
name on a beer or,
Oh.
or maybe a wine.
Oh, is
We'll
that a
see if we get-
six?
we'll-
Greg's
no,
got a
no, we'll
six
put you-
pack over
how
there.
about- how about a
Wait,
tequila?
when did you get that six pack?
How about a tequila? I do have a six pack
This
over
is-
here. This is our Gibson's Gold. And,
And I thought you were literally
Joe,
talking
did you
about
bring your
working
keys?
out
Let's
six
shotgun
pack.
one.
no,
We're
not
gonna
that
do
six
one right
pack.
now.
We're gonna shotgun
Not that
beers
six
right
pack.
now.
Here, this is called a half barrel.
Shotgun.
That's not a six pack.
I was like, Greg has a six pack. I want to see
like a
that.
party
Wait,
ball
let me
over
see
there.
the six pack.
Okay,
this is
which one?
awesome. Well, you have to put it on the
Well,
camera.
this is our new one. This is Gibson's Brown, the follow-up to Gibson's Gold. We'll be talking about this a little bit later.
Bizarre
we
things,
wanna
right?
tease
So let's talk
it,
about
but we
bizarre
don't want to
things.
spoil it.
Yeah, take it easy. Why are you trying to ruin the show?
I'm sorry,
All
but
right.
Chef Dad, go ahead and talk about bizarre things.
Bizarre things. Well, a bizarre thing is Joe.
Thank
Joe
you,
Musilami.
thank you. You guys
Hi,
forgot about the
Joe.
lamb chops for the event as well.
Joe,
Ooh.
Joe,
That
Joe's a
seems like
huge
those
partner. Purely Meat's a huge partner of ours. Always there when we go looking for a helping hand for any charity that we do. Misericordia, St. Jude's. Joe and his family have stepped up to help. Joe
Yeah,
is
the only way these things work is through our partnership with liquor
Yeah.
companies and with the meat companies. When they donate the food, it allows us to give that much more to the charity, and that's what it's all about.
But I love that you build those partnerships, and I love that you actually use that partnership for a good cause, right? You're not like entertaining your own friends or your own family. You're literally giving back to these non-for-profit organizations.
We really crank Joe's arm up behind his back this week.
Just a little
for sure.
bit, a little
Like
bit.
this.
Yeah,
What did they
have.
do?
All the way.
Tell me.
They cornered me at Gibsons on the river, Italia, and they're like, "Here's what we're gonna do." No, they didn't do that at all. I mean, we just been really a great opportunity to work with Gibsons Group for many years, and it's kind of I think kind of our mission as well as Purely Meat Company. My wife started it about 10 years ago. And
so you work for your wife?
I do. I know it's
That's
kind of crazy,
awesome.
right?
I wanna meet her.
She's a strong Latina. She's a strong Latina.
Why isn't she
She
here? I'm
hurt,
sorry.
she'll
I know,
punch
yeah,
you,
yeah.
she'll
We gotta
pinch
do
you.
we gotta do this
she's
show
a
again.
She's the Heffa.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So,
But Joe, your family, you come from a meat family, right?
yeah, we have a really
That
deep,
sounded weird, right? A
deep,
meat
rich
family?
Sounded very weird.
history
Yes.
in the Chicago community. My dad had a butcher shop, which my brother runs on Taylor Street in Little Italy. So it's been in our blood, but it's
Beer and meat.
beer, meats, great people. But you know what? Purely Meat Company, we really don't look at ourselves. We look as a big family. And everybody from throughout our whole business it's just family with us, as well as the family relationship we have with the Gibson Group.
A family of bitches.
A family of meat guys, people. So
How do you get steaks wrong though? I mean, if the source is great, right? How do you mess up a good steak?
Well, I blame it on Joe.
Oh.
If there's
Yes, he
anything wrong
does.
with your steak, I
it's
immediately call
overcooked,
Joe.
That's right. Anybody out in the audience right now, if you have a complaint about a steak, don't talk to me or one of my managers. Please just call Joe directly.
Thank
at
you.
Pure
I
Meats.
appreciate
and
it. I
his number
appreciate
will be
it.
So you
published.
heard
Can we
from
get
John
that up on the
Colletti.
prompter, please?
You heard from John Colletti that the secret ingredient to a successful business is obviously giving back and taking care of your clients and taking care of your staff. But now we know that it's also Joe.
Perfect.
And your wife.
Perfect.
You like
Maribel
that?
and myself and
Maribel
the team
and you.
at Purely. But I think it's really about, we like to say meat with meaning. And that means really from the farmers that really produce the products to the consumer throughout the whole food chain. And so it's meat with meaning with families. And, we'll take a little blunt of the blame.
Do you have a T-shirt that says "Meat with Meaning"?
I do.
If
I want
it's not
one.
available yet, I think it should be soon.
It
I
will
like
be.
it.
It'll be.
Well,
All
Joe,
right.
let's get informational here a little bit, right?
Sure.
Let's go talk to the mommies who sit at home and they read all these labels and they want to make sure that they go to, Whole Foods, right? Because they want to make sure that they get the best produce, they get the best meats for their children, because it's the new trend now. Everybody's living healthy, and we want to know how to keep our children or ourselves healthy. Tell us a little bit more about your product.
Yeah, I think it really boils down to they're not creating any new animals, right? It goes back to the families, like it keep going back to the farmers that raise these animals with respect and have dignity for the animals. So we kind of really drilled that down. My family's been doing it in Chicago for 85 years. I'm very proud of that. My wife led the charge 10 years ago because we had a child as well that has toxoplasmosis. And, when we were called upon with St. Jude and with Gibsons to give back, we're like, yeah, we're all about that. But it goes back to really understanding what's true, what's real. And I think that's what Purely represents. It's authenticity, the authentic things that we do. And it's, it's not just some buzzwords, it's natural. It's like I worked with a program with Dan a while ago with the grass-fed beef, and it's really drilling down the best quality grass-fed beef, and Gibson provides that on their plate every day. So it goes back to the respect of the animals, the way they're treated, the animal welfare of it, as well as throughout the whole process. So antibiotic-free, things like that. But I think at the end of the day, it goes back to a community of people that's doing things from their heart in the right way.
And it's so great that that it's source verified, that where it's coming
Correct.
from. You know these people. You know that they're doing a good job. You know they're doing right by the animals. Therefore, they're doing right by the consumer.
I mean, we would take trips to Watertown, South Dakota, the Van Well family.
I love it.
Yeah.
That place is awesome.
So it was great in
February.
January when it's like
Yeah.
40 below
It's
zero.
nice.
Right.
It's nice.
So you meet the families that they take so much pride in what they do, and they treat these animals with great respect. And I think that really gives it. You could taste it on the plate.
Right. And so a lot of people say sometimes I'd rather not go out and dine out because I never know what they're using. What kind of, like maybe they'll go cheap on the product so that they can save money, right? And so you're serving someone something that you don't even feel 100%
Sure.
for.
Well, I mean, Purely goes out, and Joe, you can speak to this. You know the source, you know everything about the animals that are coming through your facility and that you distribute to the restaurants and all of your customers, including Gibsons. Tell us a little bit about it. Tell us about the Carrera, the Australian Wagyu program.
Yeah, so we partnered up with Gibsons on a Wagyu program. We source the world basically to find the absolute best quality, and not just the best quality from just one dynamic. It's 360. It goes throughout the whole supply chain, and so we did a lot of tastings with all the chefs at Gibsons. And Carrera is very unique to Gibsons. No one really in the city of Chicago has it.
What does the name mean?
It's,
Is that just the name?
It's just the name.
You know what? Honestly, I had that last night, and it is the finest steak I've ever had in my entire life. And I've been eating steak with this company for 23 years. It's melts in your mouth. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
We experienced that. So I think as a butcher, we're not claiming to be farmers. We're not claiming to be anybody, but we're old school butchers. We bring the best quality. Our responsibility is going to people like Gibsons and saying, hey, we've done our research. Here's some different opportunities or different options. Dan's the gentleman. It has a great palate.
That's just it. Here's the big thing. This is Dan's main job in life is to make these relationships with the guys like Joe to make sure that what hits the plate is absolutely perfect. And it's not just that. Dan's out looking for the best potatoes, for the best tomatoes, for the best lettuce.
But I mean, that's
for the
what
best
it's
meat.
about, right? It's about the relationship.
Correct. And it's all about forging these relationships and with people that you trust and you can work with and partner with.
From the outside looking in, it's really cool to watch you guys work. Like when we met to put together the event for St. Jude that we're having on March 14th, literally you said, okay, what are the expectations from the menu? And then you went back and then you started sourcing all the suppliers.
Sure, and Joe's someone we went to right away. He's a big supporter, and we came up with a preliminary menu, a framework, what we wanted to do, and we pushed it to Joe, and Joe said, "What? You want me to make these sausages for you?" And now he's doing premium specialty things for us, and it's for a great event like St. Jude. So I think that's really cool.
And Joe, I mentioned before that I have a daughter with special needs. You mentioned something about your son who has some issues as well. Spent a lot of time at Mayo Clinic when she was younger. I'm getting a chance to go to St. Jude's a week from Monday to actually see the whole process there as well. Briefly tell us about your experience.
Real quick, when our son was born, he had a very rare disease. It's called toxoplasmosis. And 2/3 of the global population has it. They don't know about it, but we noticed it at a very young age. We got very blessed. But, like yourself, we were in and out of hospitals trying to find the best care. We got very blessed that it's University of Chicago is the global expert, Dr. McLeod. And she kind of navigated us through this process. And we were talking earlier about our children, that, they have such an inner strength that, it makes us work harder because to really expand upon it to more kids, more children. Right. And I think that's the big thing. That's the byproduct of being successful in a business.
And they're way stronger than us internally for sure. And having an opportunity to give back a little bit is amazing because we're fortunate, right? We have enough money, to cover these things if we need to. Not everybody does. So these are great causes to come back and help people out.
To be able to give back to the families who don't have the same.
I think it's a responsibility, kind of. If you success, it's great success, but what really does that mean? I think really the meaning is when you could see, like we were talking earlier, like when you're able to impact other people's lives in a really positive manner and give them exposure to great care and great things to kind of benefit their life.
Love it. And I think that's a testament to your success, right? That's why people keep going to your restaurants, because you do good and good will come to you.
Yeah,
so thank you, Joe,
it's great. Just real quick, I mean, the relationship we have with Joe and that we can come in and have this kind of conversation with him and speak candidly. I mean, how many people go out there and do business in the world and know these kind of details, intimate secrets, right, of people's lives and share them?
Love it. Great. Thank you so much for your kindness and for giving back and being partners with Gibson's Restaurant Group.
Well, thank you very much for allowing me to be here today.
Joe,
well,
thank you
very
very
much. I'm still expecting your wife to come back.
Oh, yeah,
I work with bosses only, Joe. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I had to fill in today.
You did good. You did a good
We're
job.
going to write you a note. Thank
Joe,
you.
thanks for sharing your intimate secrets.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chef Dan, seriously, you're hilarious. But thank you so much for putting this together and making sure that, we have food for March 14th.
No, I mean, it would be impossible if Gregg came to me and said, hey, you got to figure this out, you got to do it. It would be, well, not impossible, but it would be very, very challenging without partners like Joe and Maribel over at Purely. So it's huge. It's huge.
Well, Gregg's all operations, right? You make sure things happen.
That's my job. I try to put the
You
put
hire
everybody in place.
Smiles,
That's it.
kisses babies.
That's it. Just try to put people in places to succeed, Dan. That's what I try to do.
Building
In place-
success.
In
Building
places to
success.
succeed. I mean, it does take a
Seeds.
lot of hand holding. Did I say that right? I mean, how did you guys come up with this whole recipe for spices?
What?
I mean, you guys have all this
which
stuff.
recipe for
breaking
spices?
Things. I mean, you have a beer.
Man, those
you
are
have
those are
spices.
long-standing recipes. And
But
what's
that's a
what-
I
Dan
broke
project,
it, so
too.
I
yeah,
keep it.
Yeah, that's it. You got to buy it now.
Now I gotta buy it. I
You
thought
gotta
was-
buy it. Is
that
I
the
like
barbecue
Gibsons.
spice?
You got to buy it.
Black
We've
and
got
seasoning.
barbecue, blackening, fish seasoning or seafood seasoning, and Gibson's roasting
The
salt.
Gibson's roasting salt is something that you could use on a daily basis on pretty much
Yeah.
anything that you eat at home.
So I'm
People,
a professional. I order food, and so I don't
Professional
do very well.
DoorDasher.
DoorDasher.
Yeah. So this is something that's going to help even the moms like me,
Sure, yeah.
the working moms who
Sure.
don't have time to sit there and make things
Sure,
like
take it
really,
out of
really
take it out of the plastic container, put it on a plate, shake a little of that salt on there. You're ready to go. It's
That's it.
homemade.
That's
Yeah.
all you do.
Good
Do
job.
I have to touch
No
things?
MSG?
No, don't touch anything. Put the gloves
Okay,
on. Don't
put
touch
the gloves
anything.
on. Okay, I'm sorry. Please go ahead and introduce your next guest.
We have our great friend Dan DeOliveira, also known as DDO for short, because
DDO,
I
I
know
like
you're not going
that.
to be able to pronounce his name.
Actually, DeOliveira.
And what's your official title there, sir?
Mixologist with Southern Glazers wine.
Mixologist.
I'm so excited for you.
I'm excited.
See, now
How-
you got
wait.
me excited. I'm all Irish.
How does
that there's-
one get to be a mixologist?
Oh,
Well, I was a bartender in the city for 10 years.
Where'd you work?
I worked at National 27. I ran the bar
I
at
love that
Boca.
place. I used to dance
Congratulations, Boca, for getting nominated on the semifinalist list for James Beard after being open for 17
Fantastic.
years.
Fantastic.
Great.
We're hoping to have Rob and Kevin on here one day as well. That'll be a fun show.
Awesome. And then I opened up Mercadito, and then I went to the brand side, and I've been on the brand side for about 8 years. I just started with Southern about 13 months ago, so I do all the cocktail development for bars, restaurants, hotels, and bartender education, sales, people education, and just trying to spread the love.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
you can totally teach me how to make a good cocktail.
Right, I would totally like to serve you a good cocktail, but they told me that we can't serve any drinks in here. I'm like, the last
No,
time I was
Ben?
here, I had like 10
Boo.
cocktails.
Is there a boo button? Where's the boo
Seriously,
button?
there's got to be
Hit
a
the
boo
boo
button.
button.
Yeah, where's the
So we're not tasting today?
We'll taste after the segment.
Okay, we'll taste. I'll
taste
make sure
after.
to let you
what
all
did
know
you
if
make?
it was
Just out of
good.
curiosity.
I did a cocktail with Jameson, the IPA Castmates, which is
Wait,
Jameson-
wait. Let's back up. First of all, let's talk about whiskey in general. Let's back it up, and then we'll talk about your recipe later.
All right.
Irish whiskey. And you're here because Pernod Ricard is a great partner, and the Jameson brand and Absolute are being donated for the party as well. And you're here to talk a little bit about Irish whiskey. Karla, do you know what Irish whiskey is?
No, I only drink coconut water.
See?
I don't
I
drink.
know.
My
She
mom
drinks-
is watching this.
She
so
drinks
I don't
coconut water
drink
and she eats
alcohol.
plantains. That's
Okay.
it.
That's
She's
all I
from
do.
Honduras.
Yeah.
That's it. So explain to us. Give me a little bit different of the
Do you
difference
hear this,
between what?
Chef, seriously.
It
He's trying to get
sounds
me in trouble
actually
with my
delightful.
mother. Like, how do you
Coconut
do
water
that?
And plantains.
Okay,
you know?
so you have Irish whiskey versus bourbon versus Scotch versus anything else. What makes it Irish whiskey? Just that it's from Ireland?
Well, definitely, in order to be an Irish whiskey, you need to be from Ireland.
Okay, makes
Common
sense.
misconception, it needs to be triple distilled, but most Irish whiskeys are, but that's not the rule. Irish whiskeys tend to be lighter in body, so that's why they're more approachable. That's why Irish whiskey is like one of the #1 fastest growing categories and has been on fire for years and years and years. It's super approachable in cocktails. And
It's super approachable just on the rocks too. Just so you know,
this is
for
true.
some of us.
It is approachable in
I
many,
thought
many
everybody
ways.
was approachable after
It's
you have
approachable
whiskey.
straight from
That's
the bottle.
it.
But I brought a couple cocktails with me. I brought one with the Jameson IPA, which is Jameson that's been rested in an IPA beer cask. So it's
That's
very
really good.
round and very
Interesting.
full. And I
I'm gonna
just,
have to try that.
paired that with some ginger and some lemon, a tiny bit of sugar. So that's right out there. I also brought an Absolute Juice cocktail. Absolute Juice.
Tell us
they have
about
two
Absolute
flavors.
Juice.
Yeah, they have two flavors. They have strawberry and they have apple. They just came out with pear elderflower. I have not had a chance to taste it yet, but I'm super excited. But I brought a cocktail with Absolute Juice strawberry, Aperol, and fresh lemon.
I think we're going to be
And-
serving that one on St. Pat's.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I bottled it and capped it, so I will give it to you to take with you, so you can
thank
enjoy it later
you.
this
I
evening.
No. Why
You
is
got
this
it.
going with Carla? I thought we were
Because
going
I-
to drink this afterwards in the
No.
green room.
But remember, I don't drink, so yes.
That's
That's
right.
true.
Just
That's
coconut water.
true.
That's
Coconut
coconut
water
water.
and
Just coconut
plantain.
water.
And plantains. So Irish whiskey as a genre, fast growing.
100%. You know, I always like to joke with my Irish friends. They hate it because I say that Irish whiskey is a lot like Irish bars. They're all the same.
Wow.
They hate it. But it's not. I just do that to just rile them up.
But that's not
Are you
true.
here representing the entire
Definitely
Irish
not.
population, Greg?
I am. That's not true either, though,
Definitely not
because
true.
we have Jameson. If they're all the same, how come Jameson outsells everybody 2-1 or 5-1, whatever it ends up being?
I mean, it's what I grew up drinking. Don't let the
Like,
young,
how old were you when you started drinking whiskey?
I
mean, you
started-
grew up
when I started
drinking
drinking Jameson. I mean, Dan, I think I'm probably older than you.
I don't know.
What year?
87
boys'
I was
club.
born. I've aged
Fake news.
fast.
I think it's a
Seven.
one product that we all kind of grew up with, and we all know and love as Irish whiskey. That it's been tried and true. They've never changed their recipe. It's always been the same, and it's just been consistent. And it's like, you know, for lack of a better term, the Nike of the Irish whiskey.
It's the go-to. It's an easy choice, right?
100%.
You know what you're going to get. It's fantastic.
I mean, the
It's
name's
consistent.
associated with quality, and yeah,
Absolutely,
you know what you're gonna get.
they
You're gonna get
have
something tasty.
they have a step up brand called Redbreast. Is that correct?
Right. So Jameson is column distilled, which when you distill in a column, mainly vodka companies distill in column because you want to remove as many impurities as possible and make it as clean as possible. The Redbreast is distilled in a copper pot still, so you're retaining a lot of those flavors and those kind of funky characteristics that some people, myself included, want in a whiskey. So one is not necessarily better than the other. It just all comes down to personal preference, whether you like a filet or you want a New York strip.
Sure.
I'm a porterhouse or
Best of both worlds, right?
Yeah, best
Get
of
a little
both.
filet and New York. That
There you go.
I like that. I like that thought.
Ooh, daddy.
Lovely. Are you guys having fun yet?
I'm having a blast. I wish I could dip into that whiskey a
Yeah.
little bit, but
Yeah, I don't know
Okay.
why I brought
We're
cups with
being
me and
censored.
everything.
If we had
the
if we had
IPA
really long straws, could we run long straws from the other room in
The
here?
the
That would
IPA,
And
be
Yeah.
this is why
technically.
they're in the restaurant business, because you guys
Technically,
still get excited about the steak, you get excited
Yeah.
about the drinks.
Well, we get
Oh,
excited
well,
about new
that's what it's
products. You know,
about.
we're approached all the time with new products, and sometimes you kind of roll your eyes because now everybody's got tequila. The Rock's got a tequila coming out, and Nick Jonas has tequila that will be stocking, and every celebrity seems
Oh,
to have
you
something.
did buy that.
I did, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we will be stocking that. So it's nice when to get some line extensions that work sometimes. Looks like that Absolute Juice is pretty flavorful stuff. So we look
Hang
forward
on,
to
the
using
Jonas Brothers have a.
I was going to ask
Yes.
the same thing. I was
Yes.
going
I mean, I
to
See
gotta
his
imagine, like,
photo?
what?
Yes,
It took a moment to
it's
process.
Nick
I think it was
Jonas.
because he took a selfie with him
I have a
that he
selfie.
decided to.
I have a selfie of me
Oh,
and Nick.
shit.
Yes. So it's
Shout out
it's-
to Eleanor,
Hey.
because I'm sure she's watching and she loves him, right? That's
Oh,
one
She
of the-
loves,
well,
she
that's
loves
a
Nick
different
Jonas for
story.
sure. He pulled the phone out of my hand because I'm an old man. He goes, "Let me do it," and he took the
Oh.
selfie.
Oh,
of
he's
us.
trying to
Wow.
pretend like
He didn't
the
have time for
celebrity
that.
wanted to
He
take a
didn't have
photo
time for
with
that.
him.
He had
No,
to get
he
going.
didn't
There
want me
was-
to ruin it with
Yeah.
my thumb in front of it. But anyway,
Ah.
he and John Varvatos, who's a designer, have a tequila that's coming out this year.
We're not here to talk about them, though.
We're not. But we're here to talk
here
about. We're here to talk about Jameson. The IPA is fantastic, by the way. If you ever have a chance to have that, it's really unique flavor. Love it.
We also just came out with a cold brew. So it's Jameson Irish whiskey mixed with cold brew coffee. Which
Oh,
is
wow. Ooh.
Oh.
So we can
Really
start
nice.
early.
Oh,
Did he say
Where,
coffee?
where's that? Is that here
Is that-
today?
I have it,
It's
but once
okay.
again,
Look
at him, he's
we'll have
like
to taste it
looking.
later.
It's
We'll
okay.
have to taste it
We'll taste it
later.
No one wants to see
later.
us drinking anyway, so it's
Well, that'll
cool.
be before Tuesday's executive meeting.
That sounds like a
That's
good
the-
idea.
So I'll
that's the-
see you in the
that's-
parking lot at 8 a.m., Greg.
I'll see you. I'll see
Okay.
you on the beach in Riviera Maya, but
Oh.
I'll call in.
Skype me.
Yes,
Is
I'll
that the
Skype
other
you.
pre-shift? I mean, do they work? Is this considered work? Right?
Most definitely, but there's a little bit of caffeine in the Jameson cold brew. So
Oh, no, I wasn't saying whether your product works. I'm talking about whether these two work.
Oh, I mean,
Well,
the thing is, all of
no.
us. I don't want to
I
speak for all
don't.
of us, but I think I will. When we got into this business, we all discovered that we loved people, we loved hospitality, and when you truly love people and what you do, it doesn't feel like work at all. So.
Love it.
But we're all very lucky to be in the positions that we are.
It is,
sure.
and it's and honestly, most days it's a lot of fun, and it's great to interact with the customers. It's great to interact with the staff, and on a daily basis. Grow up with these people for 23 years. It's fantastic.
I'm
No
just
wonder
happy to
you have-
see Gregg every day.
Every day.
And if it's a
joy.
day I don't see him, I Skype him.
It's a rare joy.
There's a lot of love.
I just
so
need to
DDO,
see you.
Our partners, like I said, at Pernod Ricard are helping us out with some products here.
Yes, thank you so much for your donations and contributions to the event on March 14th. I mean, think about it. This is what you're going to be getting. It's $75.
Yes.
You're going to be getting $75, and you're going to be at Gibsons overlooking that beautiful view of the Chicago River. Are we doing our own dyeing of the river?
We're working on
You're
that right
working
now.
on that?
Yes.
Who do I need to talk to? No, just kidding. But you did get us entertainment.
Yes.
So
Yes,
what-
we will have the Shannon Rovers coming through, as well as our usual fine Irish music selection.
Irish music, Irish drinks for a
great
good
food.
cause, great food.
Yeah, Gregg's very entertaining too. He'll go around and talk.
Greg
to
will be there.
I
everybody.
will. I'll have a shillelagh
Yeah.
with me too.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Do we have anything
Oh,
else for
geez.
DDO before we have to let them go?
No, thank you so much. I really appreciate the gifts, and I will keep the bottles.
Please
yes.
don't go.
All right. Thank you for having
don't-
me.
We'll
Don't
try
go.
some. We'll try some of those cocktails on the way out. Thank you
They're
so
waiting
much
for your
Thank
outside
you,
cups and everything.
Thank you very much for coming. We
Thank you,
really
Greg.
appreciate the participation and the help and the knowledge.
All right.
Thanks.
We'll see you at the event.
All right.
I am so excited about your trip to Memphis. We're visiting the hospital. And
Me too.
Chef Dan,
I'm
did
bringing
you,
my little friend Blake's coming with too.
your little friend. Hi, Blake. I'm
It's
sure he's
so
watching.
exciting.
Can I tell
and Chef
you?
Jose Sosa.
Someone needs to return with some barbecue from Memphis, by the way.
Oh, the barbecue is
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah.
You
We're
can't go
gonna-
wrong at any of the local bars there and pubs. It is just everywhere. But
We-
can I
we
share
need to send
something
it
with
back.
you? I don't know if you know
Share
it
it.
as a company.
Yes.
Mr. Gregg Horan. I'm sorry, did I say your name
Greg-
incorrectly?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay,
Horan.
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 He is the St. Jude Volunteer of the Year.
What?
Could you believe that? And as a
What?
company, Gibson's Restaurant Group, you also got the Corporate Sponsor of the Year award. So thank you for
Very
everything
cool.
that you do. He secured some amazing auction items. Do you remember what they are?
Oh yeah, we've got some great auction items. We've got 4 Scout seats. Remember, you've sat in the Scout seats
I
at,
love
at
the
Guaranteed,
Scout
right?
seats.
Those are
So cool.
Those are like $300 face value. You get a buffet, you get drinks for the whole game, and it's
They
right
bring
behind
you
home plate.
food and stuff to your seat.
And a signed jersey along with that.
Yeah, wow.
Eloy Jimenez. We also have Cubs tickets and a Wilson Contreras jersey. We also have kind of the grand prize is our good friend Duncan Keith is auctioning off a dinner with him. And me.
Will you be chaperoning?
I will
the
be
next
I still don't
question.
understand why Greg has
to
to-
chaperone.
I kind of
It's a little weird, but
on
whatever.
that.
Let's just roll with it.
I think Blake's going to
Anyway,
be there too.
back to
Yeah.
the charity.
Do you think Duncan
You
needs
can't break them
chaperoning?
Back to the
apart.
charity
You
instead
can't
of
Because
separate
can I
them.
get an extra seat if you don't sit there?
You're always welcome.
No, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about whomever bids on it.
They
I
have
mean,
an
I
extra
can-
seat. They get to bring one person.
Oh, and you.
And if you yes.
And Duncan.
Yes. If you guys would stop making fun of me, maybe someone would actually bid on it.
Well, maybe
Wait,
don't
it's
tee
amazing.
yourself up.
Or this is great for those. I love to entertain, right? So as a client gift, all you realtors who are used to watching Market Overdrive, this is amazing just for you. You actually get to have Chef Sosa come to you, or maybe you have an open house where you have Chef Sosa cook for your guests. How many?
6 guests.
6 guests. And Chef is going to come in, and he's bringing all the food, right?
Correct.
So it's not like he's going to go in my kitchen and my refrigerator. And
No,
go,
he's
"There's
not
never
going to cook your
anything in there."
plantains and your coconut
Was there-
water.
yeah, I mean, what do you have in your
really do
refrigerator?
that.
What I gathered is it's empty.
Pretty much the liquor that I'm taking here tonight.
I have some butter. Well, it's margarine.
And Greg, since you're always complaining about, the Executive Experience Committee, my committee that helps us, promote the event.
Complaining?
You're always saying bring up, up your game. We do have also 4 hours Rolls Royce chauffeur service. Did I say that right?
Wow, that's
It's
cool.
a $1,600 value, and you can bid on that at the auction.
And that we'll have that website live like the week before, right?
Yes, we're already uploading all the information on there, so we're going to be sharing that as well. Can you share it on your Gibsons websites and all social media
We will,
platforms?
absolutely.
This is how I get Greg to do stuff when I put him on the spot.
Yeah, she's, on
That's it.
camera, I can't say
On
no.
You
camera,
can't say
you
no.
can't say
We
no.
go back to record
Yeah.
it, just like our text
No,
messages.
no, no.
Well,
You
said.
Listen, quite often I have no idea what I said the day before, the night before.
you,
I
All
have
right,
no idea.
Enough. Who are our
Reporter.
Okay,
Read
so-
back the tape.
Okay,
do
so we've got our good partners Mike, Gemma, and Pete Crowley from
Hello.
Haymarket Brewing here, and you're going to be able to get some of this fantastic beer at the St. Jude event as well.
I don't see any
thanks to
beer on
these
my
guys.
side.
There's no beer. You just
Not-
have spices.
Spicy.
And coconut
We
water.
brought you 2 six-packs.
Spicy.
We got it right here, but you said you didn't drink, so I'm
That's
going to
it.
have
You don't drink.
What?
have it for you.
That's for my
All right,
mom.
so let's talk a little bit about Haymarket Brewing. Tell me a little bit about it, Pete. You're the founder, right? You're the
I am.
you're
I'm one of
the
the co-founders. That's,
Okay.
That's correct.
Your
but
hats are
first,
cool,
I'm gonna,
too.
I'm going to
Maybe
bring
we can get a hat.
10 cases to your house personally so I can sit with Duncan Keith and have dinner, if that's cool.
plus $10,000 and you got it.
Okay. So, no, that's really cool, though. I love the charity. I love what we've all been talking about. It's
Duncan,
really
Duncan
cool.
is such a great guy to donate his time like that and for a great cause as well. Hopefully we get a great bid on it.
Very cool. This is it's really great to be a part of this. Just talk about Haymarket just really quick. We're located in the southwest corner of the Haymarket Square in Chicago, West Loop. It's actually the site of the Haymarket Square riot in 1886 on May 3rd. There's a monument right across the street from the brewery.
What was that all about?
It's the international labor movement. It actually started off as a peaceful protest called the 8-hour Workday movement.
Those are never fun. Peaceful protests.
Peaceful.
They never
Wait,
end.
he said 8-hour workday.
Yeah, exactly.
They definitely weren't restaurateurs.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
But literally the slogan was
Or
8
real
hours
estate
for
people
work,
either.
8 hours for rest, 8 hours for what we will. So they wanted 8 hours to go out and dine, for example.
Sure.
So the neighborhood is historic. It's it's known all over the world. It's in every labor history book on the planet. And we wanted to be in a neighborhood that was historical to the city of Chicago, where we could draw names for our beers and also be part of a really cool neighborhood, up-and-coming neighborhood. When we moved in 10 years ago, it was still an up-and-coming area.
Sure.
Much like when you folks opened up 30 years ago up on Rush Street.
Correct.
It was definitely
The neighborhood sure has changed.
not the fanciest of neighborhoods.
Yeah, neighborhood has changed.
And so we feel like we were a part of the growth of the neighborhood, as I'm sure you do as well. And
No doubt.
And so we're pretty excited to then also, as we grew as a business, to partner with Gibsons to come up with the Gibsons Gold. We think the original Gibsons Gold Hellas is just a total go-to beer, super crisp and refreshing. If you're waiting at the bar for your table or you're waiting for your friends, that's just grab one of those. And then
Fantastic.
our new beer we're really excited about that just came out for you guys, the Gibsons Brown. Has a lot of specialty malts in it. It's formulated to be super drinkable as well, but lots
what kind of flavor notes would you say that has? That the brown has?
coffee, toffee, caramel.
So it's not quite a Guinness, but it's a brown
Correct.
ale.
It's not as bitter as a Guinness.
Yes.
It's not as roasted as a Guinness. And it is really formulated for your concepts to go with the grilling of meats and the Maillard reactions that happen in cooking. And it really is geared towards the flavors of
Excellent.
a lot of your menus.
Excellent.
Stand
And
up
Mike,
to the taste of a steak.
Yeah, absolutely.
right.
and Mike, what's next? What's next for the Gibsons beer Haymarket relationship?
No, we're excited. The Blood Orange Blonde Ale that's going to be coming out in May is going to complement your
Ooh.
patio drinkers.
Ooh, devilish.
That should have my face on it.
I'm down with that.
That's absolutely
That might be your beer.
Yeah.
We can make that happen. There's
Yeah,
still time.
The Karla Mina drink. Orange, blood orange. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Passionate, great.
Super refreshing.
Super refreshing.
I
Do you
think
have
it
anything
I like
made
it.
with coconut water?
Yes,
and
be a big-
plantains? 'Cause you
big
do a
seller for sure.
coconut
We'll start
water,
doing the
plantain
logos.
beer.
To get back to it.
And what is your role with the company, Mike? What do you do exactly?
I'm the director of operations for the company.
So you do
kinda-
nothing. I'm the director of operations.
exactly.
Too.
You and I have a
Wow,
lot in
you
common,
guys
What does
actually.
the director of
lunch.
operations
Nothing.
really do?
The director of
Yeah.
lunch,
Greg
yes.
and I actually go to lunch all the time at other
Yeah.
establishments.
Let's
Skull
say things
together.
like, don't do that,
Hang out with
stop
Blake.
it, put that there.
A lot of golfing.
Let's just say
You
that
didn't do that right.
Stop picking at that.
Let's just say that Mike gets enough done in
And then if you
one
ever
day
walk
that I do in
into
a
one
whole
of their
week.
restaurants, you wonder how this all gets done. It's because of the employees.
Absolutely, and they're way smarter than us. So that's what we try to
Yeah.
we train them up, and then we try to have some fun ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
How long have you been with Haymarket?
Since day one. I've actually worked with Pete before Haymarket existed. We were at Rock Bottom together,
Okay,
where
you
he
guys
was the
have
brewmaster
some
there.
cool swag too. I like your hats. I like your Pedro shirt. That's fantastic. Very cool. Can I have one?
Absolutely.
Sure.
He started to sound like me.
I just want
If
the
you want
blood
your own,
orange,
The blood orange.
embroidered shirt, we can make that happen.
I want one that
Vice
says
beer,
Pedro,
right?
though. I love
Red
it.
blonde.
Nice.
And
I'm
can we
down.
give one away on the show too?
I think maybe I said that because I
No?
was thinking these guys should do a Hefeweizen.
Okay, guys. So we'll be. We really appreciate your help. We'll be looking forward to drinking some Gibson's Gold and Gibson's Brown, along with the Jameson and the Tito and the Redbreast and the Absolute Juice. That appreciate your sponsorship. Appreciate your participation.
We're looking forward to being part of the fundraising effort, and we'd also like to go ahead and do like a tour and tasting or some sort of
Nice.
dinner certificate. as
Oh,
well.
that would be
Ooh,
very
That's
cool.
awesome.
That is
so
totally cool.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Thank you so
we'll,
much.
we'll talk about this offline. We'll get that together. We really appreciate it, guys.
Excellent.
Thanks so
Yeah.
much
Thank
for your
Thank
help.
you,
Thanks for your
gentlemen.
support.
You guys.
Thanks for the great beer.
How did we
Thanks.
do, Chef? I mean, like this is a wrap, right?
Do it.
Usually,
have
in
anyone
Where?
else?
Pre.Shift, though, the chef
You're putting
brings
me
out
on the
food.
spot again. Yeah, I think it's over. Are we all going home now? Or are we
Is
going to
this it?
have some
I think-
Jameson and some beers?
I'm gonna have
and,
a beer, and
there's still some
but I think we're done.
I don't drink, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm going to
That's
stick
right.
to that. But my
Okay.
clients do. So
That's
for
right.
my clients, make sure that you leave some of that stuff behind. And then for, our mod squad who's coming in here later, right after you boys leave. But thank you. This is amazing, right? So you're
Thank you.
watching, listening to the Pre.Shift with the Gibsons Restaurant Group. It is a blast. And that's what we're here to do, to educate you and share with you the passion that goes behind creating these amazing companies, right?
Do this like it's a
inform,
news
inform,
press.
motivate. Great families, great partners. That's what it's all about.
So Gregg saw Market Overdrive, and he said to me, well, I see what you're doing in the real estate business, and so we want to tie ourselves into that. Gregg, why is it important for you and to be able to give a view or a window to your business and your relationships? Why is that important to you guys?
I think it's a really interesting business, just like real estate is. There's so much to talk about. There's so many topics we're going to be covering on the show on a weekly or biweekly basis, and we have great partners, and it's great to get them out here and show the general public what great products that they produce as well.
Love it. Chef Dan?
Yeah, we have to eat, we have to drink. Let's bring it all together and talk about it.
And do it in the studio. And then bring
Yeah,
Karla
it's
along.
fun.
I'm down. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
That's
No,
right.
it's
You're
totally cool.
you're the novice. We bring you along for your lack of knowledge. So
We all
can
gotta eat.
Educate me. I want to try everything because,
You're our-
eating is my thing.
You're our target market.
I am your target market.
Yes. La Jefa.
Wow. I'm La Jefa, officially, gentlemen. You hear that? I am
like
the
it.
host and the Jefa in here. But I want to thank you so much for sharing this evening with us. You guys are going to be heading out to the Flamenco show, right? It's the Flamenco Festival at Instituto Cervantes. So shout out to my friend Teresa Hernando,
Si.
who's also hosting all our Executive Experience Committee members because they're there as ambassadors for St. Jude, because St. Jude has a table. So again, lots of wonderful organizations coming together, and you guys are really pulling a lot of people in, and we're merging that gap, right? We're dismissing the boundaries between like restaurants and real estate, because at the end of the day, we're all here to serve as clients.
And your philosophy, like Ralph Lauren and like Disney, and your philosophy with customers aligns closely with how we treat customers as well. So that's what it's all about.
It is a pleasure to share the mics with you two, and I can't wait to go on the field or in the field. We're going to the White Sox.
Yes, we'll be at Shy Sox Bar and Grill for the opener, March 26th.
And
We'll be near the field.
near
Yes.
Near.
Near the field.
Near.
at this like
Near
small
anyways.
little restaurant.
It's a restaurant that we run for the White Sox. It's called Shy Sox Bar and Grill. It's the finest restaurant of its type outside of a
Best
sporting venue.
ballpark-
The best
ballpark
food,
food, yeah.
best drinks. Be there.
Yeah.
You can tell you guys are passionate about your
Killer barbecue. Yeah, come on down.
I was going
We're
to say
gonna
the
crush
barbecue is
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Love it. Well,
we
thank you for
take pride.
watching. You watched the Pre-Shift, and it's time for us to go and meet my mod squad. So thank you.